Okay, so I have just logged in into my lab environment right now, and we are going to follow the instructions of the official lab here. The first step which they are showing me as usual is I have to just open my Edge browser, and inside that I have to navigate to portal.azure.com. Remember guys, this is an official lab of AZ-104. This is lab number 1, in which we are going to focus on managing Microsoft Entra ID identities. While doing this thing, I'm going to use my lab user and the password associated with that. If you have your own subscription, you can try and you can do the same things. The detailed link where you can get the step-by-step instructions of this particular lab will be available in the description of this particular video. I have successfully logged in into my Azure portal, which is provided through the lab environment, and that means that I'm done with the step number 1. It's saying search for Microsoft Entra ID. I'm searching for that, and I'm going to click on that. After this, what first we are going to see is we are going to be able to create a tenant inside this. So we have an option here which is known as manage tenants. I'm going into that. I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to create a new tenant. Now as per the configuration, they are showing me that in the create new tenant you can select Microsoft Entra ID, then select next and the configuration. So this is my Microsoft Entra ID tenant type. I'm going to select next, which is configuration, and in the organization name we are going to provide as per the instructions. By default, I'm specifying my initial domain name is going to be first AAD with some unique number, but again in all these cases I'm following the lab details here, so that's the reason I'm going to just make sure that I'm providing same values here. Otherwise you can change it as you want. This is going to be your tenant, and this is which is going to be created with this. Now I'm going to click on next, which is review plus create, and if the validation pass, I'm going to click on create. It's going to ask me to provide this captcha. I'm providing this captcha 5P, then GJX, and then I'm going to click on submit. This option is done. I'm going to click on create. I think something is wrong with my captcha, so I'm just going to do it quickly once again. Okay, I think last time they said the training creation is in progress, so maybe this is going to be done. Second time is not working, which means that the tenant creation is already in progress, so I don't need to worry about this. I just need to go to manage tenants, and if I just refresh here, it's going to show me the new tenant which I have created. So I think this is something which is working, and that's what they are actually showing me here in this warning also. I'm done with this. Now it's saying select the first AAD link, which is this link. So I'm just clicking on this, and you can see it's showing me right now that tenant is successfully created. Click here to navigate, and then we have first AAD. Now this is something which is going to be visible if my first AAD tenant is successfully created. In my case, there are chances that this is something which is still taking time, so I have to just wait for this. Well, I think the tenant is created. Let's just have a look at this first. So if I go to the directories associated with this, it's actually showing me that this is my default directory which is there. And if I try to check the other one, it is actually something which is not visible here. If I go to manage tenants again, it's showing me first AAD, but if I click on this, it's not showing me anything inside that. Let me still click on this. It's going to ask me to log in with my credentials with multi-factor authentication maybe. Okay, lab user is actually which is trying to access. Fine. I'm going to click on next. You can see it is going to first AAD which we have created. It's asking for multi-factor authentication, so I want to use my authenticator app, so I'm just going to click on next, setting up your account. In your case, you can download Microsoft Authenticator much before starting this lab actually, and then all you have to do is just go to your authenticator and scan this code. Once you're done with authentication, you can move forward. Remember, this is mandatory for this kind of a lab configuration. I'm clicking next. It is successfully done. You can see that notification approved. I'm going to click on next and done. And this means that my multi-factor authentication is successfully configured with this particular first AAD tenant. So I'm just going to click on done. With this, they are also showing me here that we have a next option associated with this. So I'm just going to click on next so that we can understand the next particular configuration of this lab. Actually, whatever we have done so far is just a prerequisite which we have configured. Hey guys. guys, sorry for interruption. My name is Maruti and I'm here to make a very important announcement. I hope you are liking our videos and you're doing a continuous learning with us on an Azure Cloud and AI related topics. If you are enjoying this thing, I'm going to announce skilltech.club, which is our upcoming website, which is going to be launched very soon. We are here to tell you one thing, that everyone who is a subscriber of this particular channel will get Azure Cloud and Azure AI related certification courses free of cost in skilltech.club. So you will be a part of the skilltech.club kind of a membership automatically free of cost. And everyone who's a subscriber of this particular channel will get those benefits which are available in that. So what are you waiting for? I request you to please subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends and families if they are also interested in Azure Cloud and AI learning. That's it from my side. Now you can carry on with your learning. Thank you. Now we are going to start our lab number 1. So in this, we are going to focus on the architectural diagram. This architectural diagram is showing me that we are going to create multiple users. So maybe you're going to have a user 1 who's an IT lab administrator, and then you have one invited guest also who is also going to be an IT lab administrator. And then we are going to do task number 2, in which we are going to have IT lab administrators kind of a group in which we are going to associate these users. Now how we take care of the user and the group management, let's focus on this step by step. I'm going to go into portal.azure.com. That's where I am right now. Then they're saying to proceed to the portal, select cancel welcome. That is perfectly fine. And then they are showing me here in the steps like search for this, go to the Microsoft Enter ID. I know how to do that thing. That is perfectly fine. And then they are showing me in the overview, you go to manage tenants tab. And then in that you can just switch between the different directories which are associated with that. We can do that also. They're also showing me here that return to Enter ID page by pressing back the browser and then breadcrumb menu. That is fine. As you have time, explore other options such as licensing and password reset kind of thing. Now I can do all those things. I do not want to do that. So I'm just going to focus on Microsoft Enter ID, which they asked me to do. And then if I go into this, we already know manage tenant kind of options is there. We already know that we have 2 different tenants which are available because by default this one got, and then first AAD is my default tenant now. Now I'm all good with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new user in the next step. So I'm just going to my first AAD tenant, which is here. And then in that first AAD, I'm going to click on manage, and then I'm going to click on user section. This is my own tenant, so I can do everything inside this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new user. So I'm going to click on create new user. User principal name is going to be this. This is my user number 1. Nickname is fine. Display name we are going to choose same. This 2 checkbox like auto generated password and account enable has to be checked, which is already there. There is one password which they are providing here, which is going to be a random generated password. I'm just going to copy that for some time, and I'm going to keep it somewhere safe in my Notepad file so that I can use it later on. So I'm just going to create a new Notepad text document, and I'm going to paste a temporary password inside that. Once I'm done with this, I'm moving forward to next. Job title, I can provide IT Lab Administrator. Department, I can provide IT. Country will be United States, which is fine. So I'm just going to specify user location is going to be United States. So it's here. And then I think everything else is fine. We are just going to click on next. Assignment. I do not want to do any assignments right now because it is not mentioned in the steps. All I'm going to do is review plus create and create. Once your user is successfully created, you sometimes have to wait for some time. So maybe you wait for 1 or 2 minutes, and then if you refresh, it's going to show you the newly created user inside that. Remember, this is a member user which we have created right now. Now it's the time we are going to invite an external user. So I'm going to click on new user, and we have an option for invite external users. I'm going to provide an email to an external user. So let's say this time I'm going to provide my email ID here, which is this one. And then I'm going to provide a display name, which is Maruti Makwana. It's showing me send an invite message, kind of a checkbox has to be ticked. So it's going to send me an email message with this kind of a thing. Welcome to Azure and our group project. So it's like Maruti is going to be guest in this group project, and that's how we are going to configure this thing. Also, when we move next to the properties and all, we are going to specify job title for Maruti, which is also going to be IT Lab Administrator, and the department is going to be IT. The location is going to be United States once again. And then we are going to click on Review plus Create and Invite. Once this invite button is clicked, it's actually going to create a guest user and it's going to send an invite to that particular guest user which is there. Now obviously it is unlikely that you will be creating a user account individually, so basically we are going to focus on this invitation kind of a process here, successfully invited user. Now you can see right now, if I refresh this, I got one new user, but it's actually not showing any details associated with that, because maybe the email which I got actually is something which I have to verify with that. So I'm just going to do this thing right now in my email account. So let me just do it quickly. Now I didn't got an invitation email right now, but I'll wait for that. But you can see my user is actually successfully visible here as a guest user. So I'm good with this. Without wasting time, I'm going to move forward to my next step. In the next step, we are going to create groups and we are going to add members into that. So let's click on the Active Directory users. Inside this, we are going to focus on Microsoft Entra ID, and then we have Manage Blade kind of a section, and then we are going to select groups, which is this one. So let's click on groups. Inside the group section, we are going to configure this thing. So that's what they are showing me here, that in this actually you can actually create a new group kind of an option. The group type is going to be security. The group name I want to provide is IT Lab Administrators. The group description is going to be this. And the membership type is going to be assigned. When I do this, it can take some time, and then after that the new group is going to be visible. Now as of now, in the next step, they have mentioned that in the add owners page you can select yourself on the top right corner as the owner, and then you can have more than one owners also. Now in my case, I'm going back to my group section and I want to see whether my newly created group is available or not. You can see it's showing me total group is 1. If I go under the section of all groups, I can actually get my group, which is here. And inside the group, now because I have not added any owners, you can see right now it's showing me view group owners is actually showing me 0. So I'm going to click on Manage. I'm going to click on Owners. And I'm going to add owners, using which I'm going to add AZ-104 user 1. Or lab user can be also the owner of this thing. Now in this case, it's showing me right now that in the add owners page, search for and select yourself, shown in the top right corner at the owner of this. So basically this is my lab user. So I'm just going to select the lab user here, which is my user, and then no members are selected. After that, in the add members, we can select AZ-104 user 1 also, and the guest user which you are invited, and both of these users to the group. So we are actually going to add all of them into this one, and then I'm going to click on select. These 3 guys are going to be owner of this particular group, which we can configure here. Now we can also add others one as a member, but I'm just making all of them are going to be owners, and then that is how it is going to be configured. Then I can just select create to deploy the group. We already deployed the group, and then manually we added the owners here. If I refresh it, it's going to show me that all 3 owners are actually available here. Now remember, if you want to give different kind of permissions to this, you can add them as the members also, but I'm just adding all 3 as a owner here. Once I'm done with this, I can select the new group and review the members and owners configurations with that, and then I can also modify this thing. Now let's say the guest user, who is Maruti Makwana, I do not want to add him here as the owner now anymore. So I can remove this, and then after removing this user from owner, I can refresh it. I can go back to members, and now in the members I can actually do add members, and in that I can add that specific user which I want to add as a member. So maybe I can search for Maruti Makwana, and I got the user which is a guest user, and I'm going to select it. So basically now I have 2 owners and 1 member for this particular group. That's it for this particular lab. It's a very straightforward and easy lab. I hope you understood this thing, that how we can manage identities associated with Microsoft Entra ID. Let me just click on end, and yes, I'm going to end this lab. Thank you.